Hey, brothers and sisters in Christ. Today I wanted to share with you on the dangers of making plans without God. There's this passage in James chapter 4 and verses 13 to 15, where James, the earthly brother of Jesus, says, "Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or to that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money. Why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." Notice these people here in verse 13 were not willing to commit the when of their plans, today or tomorrow, or the where of their plans. We will go to this or that city, or the how long for when it came to their plans, to spend a year there, or the what of their plans, to carry on business, and the why of their plans, to make money. So notice they were unwilling to commit the who, what, when, where, why of their plans to the Lord and to His will. As it says in verse 15, instead you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. Notice also with these people, there was no mention of doing the Lord's work, but the focus was on making money. You know, how often do we determine our plans in life and base our decisions solely on money, rather than on seeking the Lord's will and finding out if it is the Lord's will or not to do that thing? How often do we make a decision on what job to choose purely based on how much money we will earn, rather than on seeking Jesus to actually find out whether it's His will or not? In verse 14, James goes on to give us one of the reasons why it is futile making plans without the Lord. He says, why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. We are reminded here of the uncertainty of life. Because we are not all-knowing, like the Lord is, we don't even know what will happen tomorrow. You know how true this was for me back in February the 1st, 2025 this year, when little did I know that the next day I would be diagnosed with cancer. But even though I did not know what the future held, the comforting thing was I knew who held my future: Jesus. And it is comforting to know that when we submit our plans to the Lord and His will, then no matter what happens, we can have comfort knowing that He holds our situation and circumstance in His hands. May we learn to base our life's decisions not on how much money we will earn, but solely on whether it is the Lord's will or not for us to do that thing. And may we learn to commit the who, what, when, where, why, and how long of our situations and circumstances and plans to the Lord and His will. May we seek to do His will in our life, remembering the words of the Lord in Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21, where He says, many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. May we seek to live out the Lord's purpose in our lives so that He gets the glory. God bless.